The following video also was used as a brainwash, as a Central Intelligence Agency, Federal Bureau propaganda, brainwash. The following orchestra, based on George Bush, and also based on participants that you see right there, was assembled literally by George Bush personally to explain to me basically what we are doing. And so let me go from the beginning. This is the guy that they had me to pick up, the white guy that you see right there. They wanted me to see myself in one. Actually, they didn't want me to see myself in one, but it appeared like he was the best looking guy, whatever. He would sit in front of me, in front of the video, and would want me to follow his facial features, the way he moves. See that? He too have a way to look smart. Stuff that I would do would be processed by what George Bush personally demanded from me through this individual. Dave Brubeck is his name. By George Bush, what he demanded from me to see in him was a Central Intelligence Agency, Federal Bureau investigation. For this guy that he is blowing the trobenta, what is it, trumbo, whatever you call that, they demanded for me to see in him Grimberg, basically anywhere from Federal Treasury boss ex Alan Grimberg, Jewish, media basically Jewish, I didn't do quite well job here. This was supposed to be that he would be collecting the information, that he would do espionage for me, that he would absolutely gather everything that it need to be for the case to be over with. Yeah. And that's the kind of stuff he would further process to a mainstream media. Therefore, I don't have to go and talk about this guy here anymore. So that's extremely effective brainwash. Right? You can see me over there making a face like, obviously, whatever you want to interpret this, but I don't see myself in it, but it doesn't matter. Obviously, I wouldn't be talking to you about this stuff if I was okay with it. So, the psychiatrists, American psychologists whom George Bush had brought also in our house, demanded from me to pick one of the people to see myself in after this stuff was repeatedly explained to me. This was explained to me on total maybe 3 occasions, maybe. Other were reminders, maybe not even on 3 occasions. So I'm giving you like a complete breakdown of the SIA brainwash, how effective that stuff is. Think about my situation, and then you're gonna see if it's effective or it's not effective. Pay attention to the black guy behind. You see how he is moving his head, the black guy right there in the background? Look at it. That's how they interpreted the Hollywood, the sports people, all kinds of people involved in it with African American, black heritage, whatever you want to call it. You see this? So this is a main guy, this is a dirigente. Dirigente is a SIA, this is a George Bush. Oh, I did saw myself in this stuff. I did. He didn't stop with that stuff. Then what they would do is they would remind of the stuff that was done to me during MK Ultra to make it more effective, more emotional. You know, Central Intelligence Agency brainwash is extremely effective tool. So what we are watching right there is like a classic brainwash video recruiting for Central Intelligence Agency video that you see right there. So, how do you like this recruitment video from Central Intelligence Agency? It just looks like a good video. It just looks like a cool video like any other video. But it's not. They handpick people for the job and they made them do stuff like this. George Bush claimed credit for this stuff. I don't know. I don't know if everything is George Bush. If George Bush was so effective, George Bush is not stupid. He's not stupid. For one thing, that he's not stupid. In this video, he never shined more than in this video. This is the way it was. This is a video that I didn't really need. This is something that Americans have completely forgotten about. They totally have forgotten about. With this video alone, what they tried to do, they tried to deprive me of my personality, steal the truth. Let's not forget, I was in the picture way before George Bush was anywhere in the picture. Even that he was a son of George Bush Sr. I was a baby when I was few months old, when I was recruited into SIA. Literally through the British Royals. Nixon Reagan. I didn't need to be recruited based on what I felt as a baby. I knew where my place is. Look, for you to understand actually what took place, then you need to read here. This is the stuff that you need to read for you to understand about the stuff that went on. So, giving me this kind of video is just, it was good for the morale. It lifted my morale because they remind me that I was not by myself all through. This is how the video ended finally. Dave Brubeck listed himself as dead on December the 5th, 2012. That was about 4 days prior to my birthday, which I spent inside of the psychiatric hospital Ljubljana Polje. Like I said, to understand really what took place, you need to see this thing here. You need to read it over to understand what exactly took place, what took place. As not even this recruiting video that Sia made, even to portray me as a traitor, did go through. When you are so strong, when you are so big, when you are 54 years on the front lines, you can do the stuff like I do. That's basically use Central Intelligence Agency, basically toy into oblivion the most powerful intelligence agency in the world, CIA. When you can do the stuff like I can indeed, then you are a king of the world. Not the one with a title, not the one that is crowned, entitled, inherits, but the one without whom they were not capable to do a fucking shit. And in the end, they couldn't go past psychiatric hospitalization, which they commenced in 2012. And another one in 2014. And did all they possibly could with their communists, Slovenians, Russians, Serbian partners to get me killed. That's a might, that's a power, to have an argument, to have proofs, to have facts, to have ability. Based on facts. To demonstrate the world about what took place. CIA, Central Intelligence Agency, Federal Bureau Investigation were not buried because of my fault, because I would be a prisoner, whatever the hell I would be, something I couldn't be even if I wanted to be, especially because I'm from completely other side of the world. I'm an Eastern European on top of it. They were buried because of traditional American national way of thinking, mentality, ways, treachery, treason. with the only thing today that makes me somewhat understand is about basically acknowledging that their own American soldiers in Vietnam killed their superiors because they were deliberately sending them into a sacrifice. This is not the story that I wrote. This is the story that helped Americans to be shaped by the communist parties, by ISIS, by drug dealers, by whatever was out there in the world that Americans were pushing me in arms so that they could, together with the British Royals, with the British, excuse their mindless crime. That's all there is to it. So I don't know how much you like that stuff, but this was used I was told for the recruiting to Central Intelligence Agency. Extremely effective. Interesting, did Slovenian politicians know all about the video? That's also interesting. Maybe somebody should talk to George Bush about that one. You know, you shouldn't be worrying about me because there's nothing for you to worry about me. That's one thing. That's the basic thing is there's nothing to worry for you about me.
It was announced that inflation is far lower than anybody expected. I told you. Beating every one of the 61 forecasts from the so-called geniuses, the experts. We're the geniuses, not them. We now have the lowest core inflation since March of 2021, and we're just getting started. It's unbelievable.
I thought that this would fit perfectly into this thing. I'll let you see it one more time. In 2012, when I had it, after 40 years of torture, into the psychiatric hospital. Yeah, that's where I was thrown. They came to pick me up with ambulance, police, fire rescue people, fire rescue workers, I should say. These people did nothing other but laugh in my face. They finally got whatever they worked on since 2006. 2004, actually, to be exact, was a plan to get me killed through the psychiatric hospital. It took them 8 years to get me behind the doors of the psychiatric institution in Slovenia, in Ljubljana Polje. In 2006, I left the United States of America because of continuation of the forced unemployment. Didn't make any progress, even as a truck driver. That's where I landed. I landed as a truck driver. I was meeting end-to-end as a security officer in the United States of America. Oftentimes at minimum wage or close to minimum wage, and was making money through the overtime. End up destroying me 2 citizenships. One in 1991 upon the Slovenian independence. Another one in 2006, actually 1995, as I came to the United States of America. They see it, and they continue to see it. They see it, and they continue to see it as kings, as queens. You just saw Donald Trump bragging about outstanding American economy. They continue to see it as a president. Bathing the money, driving Rolls Royces, recruiting Elon Musk's, illegals, utterly illegals, turning literally white Afrikaans, South African immigrants, illegal immigrants, into super billionaires, even into what Musk claims wants to become a trillionaire. And left me without no choice other than to settle for the life of the mental patient, mentally ill individual. It's not about a song, it's about understanding what CIA is. That might have been George Bush's promotion, CIA promotion video. But this is the truth. Now what I will do is I will scroll down. Yeah, they end up destroying me 2 citizenships, and it was not enough. At age 6, they started to break my spine. With Mike Tyson, who was even on the picture, doing ugly, nasty stuff. using me to harden American sportsmen, politicians, make them talented through observing and participating in a torture. Have them taste what can be done to a human being. How far the whole thing could go with any creature, with any human being, with any human pertaining to a human race. If the big brother is not watching you, if the big brother is not lined up behind you. I had no homeland. I had no place to go. I applied in a dozen countries for political refuge, political asylum. However, the miserables from London, Le Royal, and Washington and DC, the United States of America, they were extremely unhappy with me. And therefore, after I changed for 3 other locations in the United States of America, upon return to the United States of America, in 2008, I failed with political asylum in Canada, in Germany, in Belgium, and Austria. I was actually, during this hijacking stalled, brainwash, on a total failures, insisted not to even try. They did this in the countries for which they assume through beatings, through the torture, through interrogation, I would attempt to immigrate. Such countries involved France, such countries involved Italy, such countries involved greater than Great Britannia, Britain, such countries involved Ireland, such countries involved Sweden, such countries involved Germany, such countries involved Norway, such countries involved Canada, such countries involved Netherlands, Belgium, of which, as I stated, I filed despite being brainwashed and a total failure. It involved Finland. I did apply for the political asylum. And in Belgium, and in Canada, and in Germany, and in Norway, I tried life in Sweden, tried in Austria, everywhere, every one of these countries, they threaten with the psychiatry. You need to read the stuff that I wrote about how this stuff was done. I was literally flown by the King Harald of Norway, from Norway to Slovenia. Into psychiatric hospital Ljubljana Polje for applying for political asylum in Norway. I applied in Hungary. I applied in Ukraine, the same thing. I had nothing other than almost to be seen as Lee Harvey Oswald boarding the plane for Moscow in 2016, which I was not allowed to board in Poland, and this is how I ended inside of the Ukraine, and from Ukraine I continued to Belarus, directly into Minsk, where also the torture went on based on MK Ultra scenario. The world that was turned into the prison on open, into the psychiatric ward on open, where nobody knew, nobody saw anything, heard saw anything about it. So this might be a promotion for the Central Intelligence Agency. What better way? It feels like I was the only person who did not work for Central Intelligence Agency. So that's why releasing the fact about this video, how far this stuff with Dave Brubeck have gone through, I don't want to pronounce it wrong, but I think you say Scott Joplin, and I don't know. I think I pronounced it correctly. Issue. Which, what I will do right now, I am going to go scroll myself down, and so that you can read it over for yourself, in case, whatever, you have this video, whatever might be easier for you to read, whatever the case might be. You're just watching the Auser Times. And my name is Boštjan Ausec. My name is Bastian Auser. That's me. I'm not so smooth. I'm not as smooth as Bush. Maybe I'm not so fake. But I deliver the truth. This is the stuff that is pertaining to, yeah, we could say also to this video. The aftermath investigation of exactly whom I dealt with. They actually made me guess through this video about whether Scott Joplin got stroke or was it for some other issue. Yeah, they made me guess, talking about Robert Golob, the Slovenian Prime Minister Robert Golob. Dr. Robert Golob, yeah, he's a doctor. Any kind of resistance to violence was acknowledged during MK Ultra as a form of mental illness by nobody more than Robert Golob, by nobody more than Milan Kučan, by nobody more than Borut Pahor. My mother referred to me as a mental patient at least 50 times since my return from Poland in 2020, just for reminding her of MK Ultra issues. And it's probably 100 times, not 50 times. Because they're not violent. This is all the stuff they were demonstrating me, just like the way you see it. In front of the laptop, reminding me of their promises. This one here loved to talk about the mental illness together with his brother Andrew. But this was the main talker, the main reminder of mental illness and psychiatry. So I don't know how Sia attempted to misinterpret this, but I gotta make sure, that's my job, that everything is laid out black and white. There is a video missing here from Dario, the piano player. Dirigente in Italian in Slovenian dirigent is this person here. You will find this word in this last post that I demonstrated you. I have no idea what's the name. The leader of the Choir Orchestra, musician who leads the orchestra Choir. Well, yeah, but what the fuck is the name? What is the English name? I don't understand. So I just use the dirigent. Maybe it's also in English. It might be in English also. No, it's not. Yeah, it's actually German. So, I wanted to be very, very detailed about this stuff here. I don't see myself in a fucking nobody, because it's not my business to see myself in a nobody. The person who doesn't see himself as a human being, and the person who doesn't see himself in himself, is doomed to a failure, to a death. If you don't see yourself in it, in what I told you right now, in your certainty, in guarantees given to you by God, you're doomed to a failure. You're finished. And then the only thing you can do is you can watch this shit. You can watch actors laughing in your face. Billionaires, trillionaires laughing in your face. As stateless as you become. One more selfie before I'm gone. This is what real me looks like. No, I live in under different kind of circumstances in a different world. It wasn't about the citizenship, it was about everything you can take away from a human being, including sanity you can deprive one of, foremost. Les Miserables. If you don't have yourself, if you don't know what you are for in this world, then you're doomed to a failure. It almost sounds like if you cannot be good for others, Actually, excuse me, for yourself, you cannot be good for anybody. Well, the thing is that I'm not so smart, and I don't know much about that stuff. It's all about the survival. That's all there is. That's all that it comes to. And it also comes to who you, as a person, what exactly as a person you really are. Usually the strong people are the people that are more generous, that are more, they go past the average because they manage to get something done, because they manage to create something out of totally nothing. The people whom you have seen are people who live under different standards, different rules of life. Yeah, you could see every one of them standing next to the dumpster, eating the food from one, or supporting the corner from the street, all over the world. They look as smart as the suit, and the suit is the state, makes them look smart. That's all there is. That's why I threw the fork. How much you have watched this part number 3 of 3 pertaining to Central Intelligence Agency, Federal Bureau Investigation, MI5, British MI5, MI6, etc., etc. I do not know. But it's where I described a lot of stuff pertaining to the ISIS that traces directly to the British government, directly into Buckingham Palace, Windsor Castle, and Washington, D.C., United States of America. Great video to watch. They're not the only people who use females to promote ISIS through, in a parenthesis, Twitter accounts, right? That was very generous of awarding them with a Twitter account. Yeah, what else? And that's exactly what they hope for I'm gonna do when I returned back from United States of America. They were sure that I'm gonna go on a Twitter campaign, join Al-Qaeda or I don't know whom, so they could get even with me, because this is what they do. This is how they isolate people. This is what they do, and that's how they get the reason. But the video that I just created is a stark reminder about reality where we live it. It's about agency that depicts itself is legal. It's perfectly legal. It's perfectly national. It's perfectly etc., etc., etc. It's about the CIA. This video right here. Make no mistake about it, and I want you to see with your own eyes. They told me that MK Ultra will end up blocking Rothschilds and Central Intelligence Agency altogether. Damn it, man, they were exactly correct about it. It took them 54 years for me to do it. That explains more about them than about myself. I did. That's what I would do. I would just...
Would I not be capable to... They cut this garbage short. Yeah. They will have to disappear.
Bye-bye. This is the way I see it. During MK Ultra, you threatened me, it's going to be bye-bye. Now I give you a bye-bye, but I give it to you in my own way. Now let's see how far you can go after the bye-bye. You, not me. I block a bunch of them, but somehow they keep getting back. They somehow keep getting them back on the picture. As you see, there's no such thing like a block button for these criminals. And so the only thing you can do is you can report them for the harassment. That's basically online stalking Yeah, Facebook, unfortunately for Facebook, no longer is Facebook. It even changed its name into Meta. It's artificial intelligence led company led by artificial intelligence, and you already know how that works. If it's something you do not like and you block or require to be removed, then it keeps coming back. That also gives you the right for the lawsuit. If you report these people for harassment, if you have a case against them, indeed so. It's 12 o'clock here in Slovenia.